Hey all, and welcome to another video. This video is just not so much an update on the current layout that I'm building, but more of just a look at the scenery that I'll be using on the new layout. So the type of ground scenery which I use, the terrain here, is a bit of a mixture of the zip texturing using powdered paint and plaster of Paris, and you just mix the paint and the plaster together to get the color that you want, wet the surface, and then use a sifter to sprinkle over a layer of the plaster with the paint, and then you give it another spray with water and the plaster sets up and you get a nice solid layer. And then it's pretty easy to use. It's good because you can just add whatever colors of paint you want to give you the texture and color that you want, and it gives a nice dirt look to it. The bushes, or the little grass tufts you can see, that's just old paintbrush. Cut that up and use a bit of white glue to stick it down. And they were, believe it or not, more of a strawy looking colour. So I just mixed up a little bit of acrylic green and watered it down, and then just dribbled a little bit of it down the stems of the grass tufts, just to give them a little bit of a green tinge down the base and a light straw colour on the top. The other foliage that I've got here is just here, which is static grass from Mini Nature. The way I made those little static grass tufts, just got a aluminium baking tray, and with the static grass applicator I put the clip onto the baking tray, applied some small dabs of glue all over the tray, and then just sprinkled the static grass over the top, and then it dried out and gives a nice looking grass tuft there. And then the other stuff here is just some fine turf. I think that's a earth blend mix from Woodland Scenics. The tree is twisted wire and modelling clay, and then I just painted that. And for the foliage I used polyfiber and sprayed that with some brown spray paint, and then while the spray paint was still wet, just put on some of the Woodland Scenics coarse turf. The rails are ballasted with it. It's a fine ballast. I think in the next time I ballast, I'll use fine ballast with a mixture of medium ballast as well, just to give it a little bit more texture, because it's very similar. The texture of the ballast is very similar to the texture of the dirt around it. And the track, that's code 100 pico, and weathered the rails just using some brown acrylic paint. You can see I missed a couple of spots here, and there's some spots further up there. So this is the water scene. I just used Woodland Scenic realistic water and water effects, and all the rocks, the river rocks. I made two types of river rocks. There's the maroon looking ones that are rounded. I just made them out of leftover modelling clay that I had from making the trees, and just painted them a brownish reddish colour. And then there's these other rocks here, which are these ones and these ones here. I made those, I got a piece of foil and some plaster of Paris, and then what I did was coloured the plaster with the powdered paint that I have, and then added water to get like a creamy texture to it, and then spread it out, spread the plaster out on the foil, really very thin, and then I let it dry. And then once it was dry, I peeled it up, and it was very brittle, so I broke it off, shook it around in a bottle to get the smaller rocks, and then I just glued them down.